Hey everyone, welcome to another 10-minute Marvel playthrough of Aeon's End Legacy. We're going to be tackling Chapter 6 today, and going to be exciting to see how that goes. Apologize for this. It's less interesting to see a whole lot of wall, so let's get this adjusted over nicely. And as always, before we hop into the game, let's talk about today's beer from Insight, a raspberry pineapple tart wheat. This is actually a brewery super close to where I live. I have not had this one from them before though, which is saying something because I'm a real big fan of their beer. So let's see how this one is. Normally, a wheat ale I'm not super excited about, but if it says it's tart, that definitely is more interesting. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting beer. I would say it is tart, but I'm not sure that anything really stands out about it. Like, it's a little bit tart at the start and then almost finishes with the wheat flavor, and it's just a resoundingly okay beer. There's nothing that really stands out to me as like, oh, this is really great, or no, this is really bad. This is just fine. Like I said, there's nothing that really stands out. I think maybe if I was drinking this outside on like a 95-degree day, it might be perfect. It might be what I want. But even though it was in the 90s today, I'm not outside right now. So, it's a decent beer. If you're going to advertise that something is raspberry or pineapple, I expect to get more of that flavor than I really do here. Plus, I have a couple other things to show off here. So, just came in the mail today. We have the Riverfolk expansion for Root. I'm excited for this one. I'm a big fan of Root. And I'm curious to see what some of the different ones add in. So like this has a lizard cult, a riverfolk company, and a second vagabond, and a mechanical marquis. So basically some way that the Marquis des Cats just runs automatically, which is kind of cool. I'm curious to see how that will work. Plus, I'm not going to bust this one open, but Flick of Faith. This one I am real excited for as well, mainly because it is something fairly different than what I have in my collection. This is a disc flicking game, and you're trying to kind of do, I think it's area control on the different islands, but really cool looking, so I'm excited to see what it is. Well, let's get into some story here for our legacy game. We're on short on deck at this point, and then let's get down to the table. The rumors were true. Maelstrom has awakened. Our scouts remain vigilant, watching over the sinkhole that appeared when Gravehold was destroyed. But it is only a matter of time before Maelstrom rises again. Malistar has returned to the forge, working on new equipment for you, tools to be used for the fight against Maelstrom. He has located a strange, powerful ore on the surface that can be used to further augment his craft. This ore is guarded by a nameless called Deathmind. After the initial squad returned with most of their memories wiped, our scouts kept their distance. Using the information gained from the scouts, Brahma has made a plan. Her time under the control of the fungal mesh gave her a unique insight into the mental powers of the Nameless. Brahma will travel with you and fortify your mental pathways, acting as an anchor for your memories to keep Deathmind at bay. As it eats at your memories and destroys the neural pathways, Brahma will restore them. She will help you channel your powers and maintain your thoughts as you battle the nameless. With her help, you hope to come out the other side with your thoughts intact. Open Playmat 6. Let's see what we have in here. We have chapters called Strength of the Mind. Feels like some tokens. So, the normal divider. Deathmind. And a bunch of tokens here. 10 bridge tokens is what they're called. For some reason, since they're in the Deathmind's pack, I'm guessing they're not good for us. But let's see what they do. Setup. Arrange the supply into a 3x3 grid. Place the pile so the gems start at top row, then relics, then finally spells. Within each card type, arrange the piles by cost of least to most expensive, so what I normally do. Read the additional rules on the other side of this mat for information about the bridge tokens. Then choose 6 spaces orthogonally between the supply. Place the bridge token in each of those 6 places. Place them so that each token is between 2 piles and there is at most 1 token between each 2 piles. Place Sever Link into play with 3 power tokens. Alright. Additional rules. So unleash, remove 1 power link from the Sever token, or from the 1 power token from the Sever Link. Players cannot gain the last card of a supply pile. During a player's main phase, they may spend 5 or lose 4 pulse tokens to establish a neural bridge between Brahma and place a bridge token between any 2 orthogonally adjacent supplies. Bridge tokens cannot be placed between 2 supply piles which already have one. Supply piles with bridge tokens between them are connected. 2 supply piles are connected if a path can be traced from one supply pile to another bridge token. When a player gains a card from a supply pile that is not connected to the first supply pile in the top row, that player suffers 2 damage. Okay. So let's go to the table. I'm going to have to space out a few things a tiny bit more. New transition. It's not really a transition, it's just me clicking. So I want everything to be connected to a pile that is up here in the corner. And we start by placing out, how many did it say? 6. So I want my coins, or gems for sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so there are still 2 more, which means you can get everything connected. There's still 4 more, actually. You can get everything connected, and I could even double up on some of these pathways as time goes. And then we have our deck here. So we have Sever Power Link. It should have 3 tokens placed upon it. So basically, every 3 activations of Death Mind, it is going to activate, unless there are ways to put stuff back on there. Let's get all the 1s together. All the 2s. All the 3s. Here's the cards we have to choose from for later. I'm going to do this in the right order this time. By that, I mean I'm shuffling the 3s first so I can just build up this deck as I go, instead of putting it out upside down. So the 2 that are not connected right now, since there's no way to get all of them connected at once, are the Arcane Salvo and Fire Chakram on this side. And mainly, I'm just doing that because I tend to have enough to buy the 3-cost ones, and I tend to have enough to buy gems. Let me move the mouse out of the way here. Then we have what we read in conclusion, whether we win or lose. This one we do get a replay if we do win. Let's give the turn order deck a shuffle. Let's get Gravehold back to the health it should be at. It says 10 right now. That should be at 30. And 80 points for the nameless. And let's get started. Aeon, get us going. And 3 purchase, we're going to do Conductive Grit. Getting going fast. Zolifer. So Zolifer is the one, if you remember from last time, he has a lot of the crystals that no longer really work for anything except buying crystals. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I can actually put this Crumbling Compound on top of my deck. I'm going to spend every single card to get it. I'll make sure I draw my hands, then players. And here we go. Turn 3, Nemesis. Drop that. I'm actually going to leave that up here so I can restack. Soul Harvester. Did I forget to evolve it last time? Might have. That's okay. Death has not stopped the Spine Harvester. It has only filled it with the need of vengeance. This time, the dark has strengthened it, sharpening its bone and increasing its bloodlust. So that gets banished. We now have the Spine Thresher in here. So basically, it's sitting at 4 shields now. Oh, he sucks too. Alright. Aeon. Boom. Boom. 1, 2. I gain an extra money, which is nice. Because then I can discard that one to remove another shield. And then I still have 3 purchase, so I can grab this Breach Flare to drop it into my deck. And Nemesis. So we lose one here. Boom. Or nothing happens here. Unleash. Unleash is remove one of these tokens. Any character loses a life. And it gains an evolve sticker. So we remove one of these connections. We'll do the one in between the Incinerating Fist and the Infernal Mirror. Call it good. Then that resets. Now we know who's coming up next. Good old Zollifer. Of course, I don't actually have any spells to cast here. Or put in. But I do have 4, 5, 6, 7. We'll get the Branching Radite. And a Breach Flare. No damage has been taken. Make sure I have one of the less desirable money sitting there. Let's get us a good shuffle here. Ideally, I want Aeon to go before we have the Nemesis go. Come on, Aeon. Zollifer. Well, Zollifer now has a spell. And again, 5 purchase power, 4 of which has to be used for a gem, but I can place it on top. Aeon, perfect. Boom, boom. 2 sparks, both hitting the Spine Thresher. Taking him out. Discard pile up there. Of course, you can drop that in, so I can either gain... Well, I have to gain a Pulse token. And I have 5 purchase. I could buy the Arcane Salvo, but that's 2 damage if I do that. Or I could just grab 5 cost card here. Or, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a branch in here to the Fire Chakram, just so we have that available to us right now. Not sure that's the best play, but kind of like it. Nemesis loses 1 there. And so this one We could evolve it, or we could unleash. Any player suffers 2 damage, and then players collectively discard 2 cards together. Zolifer. I mean, might as well. Start on the damage. It's not much. We're down to 79. Breach Flare. So 2 7 purchase power. You know what? I'm going to grab that. And then with my 7 purchase power, so I still have 5 left, I'm going to create another pathway all the way up to Arcane Salvo. Nemesis. Boom. Boom. And attack. Any player suffers 2 damage and discards a card in hand. If the card costs 0, we evolve it. Card's going to cost 0. Place that last evolve sticker on it. Zolifer took the damage. And Aeon, 1 damage. Plus, I can drop that into play. You can just open this one up for 3, which I'm going to do just so I can put that into play for her. And I'm going to do it. I don't want to unleash. It sucks having to maintain those bridges. So we read card E48. The Creeping Curse Story. You feel the curse take shape, bubbling under your skin like a plague. It is your burden to end this curse before it can spread, and you must study it without succumbing to its madness. Banish Creeping Curse, place 49. In there, and we get to add a name onto here, so I'm going to have to grab a writing utensil. So to discard, Aeon discards a card in the hand that costs 3 or more during their turn. Unleash, any player suffers 3 damage, and then players collectively discard 3 cards. So that definitely builds up. Let me find a writing utensil. I can read that well enough. By well enough, I mean barely. But that's okay. So then, flip that back over. Give this another shuffle. I wish I had a way to place power tokens on there. Though, that would probably make it unbalanced. Zolifer, 2 damage, and we will focus her breach 3, Aeon's breach 3, and then we have 2. So I'm going to grab a breach flare, and I have up to 4. Since this was 4, Breach Flare only cost me 3. I'm actually going to... I was debating about grabbing more money, but instead I'm going to grab a few more of those tokens. Gravefold hasn't suffered damage yet, but it's bound to happen. Nemesis. So we lose that, which means we lose a connection. We're going to do it with Breach Flare, actually. And then that resets. Power 2. Unleash. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards 2 gems. If both of those gems cost 0, evolve. No way to get rid of that. So, in 2 times, we'll be severing another link. Aeon will fire for 3 damage, and she gains a coin. Plus, we'll focus the breach over here on Zolifer. Let's see what we have here. A couple sparks. And 5 purchase power. Arcane Salvo is available. We are getting it. And that also gets her another pulse token. She's slowly collecting them to hopefully the point where she'll be able to trade in 4 of those at some point in time. Zolifer. Well, I have 4 here that cannot be used to gain a spell. I'm going to grab the Brain Knife. I'll keep the regular crystal in hand. It's just worthwhile to keep a crystal I can spend on anything available to me, I feel like. Aeon, boom boom, 2 shots. Not much damage there, but we're down 9 damage overall on the Nemesis. I have 4, but only 3 can be used on a spell. What else can I do with 4? I can get a Branching Radite, solid for her. With 4, I can also get 2 charges. So I haven't built up her charge pool that much before, but I'm going to do it now. I have some nice damage dealing in here. So we know this is going to be a Nemesis. Don't say unleash. Unleash twice. No. Boom, boom. And 4 damage to Gravehold. Down to 26. So then it says, well, we know what the Unleash does. We got our Arcane Salvo, so I'm going to trash that one. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left in there. Zolifer might have to start placing some more. But of course, who knows who goes next? Aeon, boom. 1 damage, down to 70. Very slowly getting down there. So tell me I have something good. I do have 2, 3 spells. Gain a pulse and have 3 to spend. I'm going to open this breach. Good to go. Zolifer. Hey, Zolifer deals a damage. Down to 69 points of health there. Plus scarred, so that is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And drop in for 5. Another one there. And grab a Breach Flare for him. So, why not maybe just hold off on that for him? Why not place it down here so I'm prepped? I think I need a few more spells for Zolifer. That's really what it comes down to. Aeon clearly has a lot, so we're dealing 6 damage. We are not going to spend that one, I don't think. Just keep it in case of a minion, though. Yeah, we'll keep it in case of a minion. So 6 damage. Yep, that's what I said. Down to 63. Breach is good to go. Her hand, we just have a couple of sparks and 3 purchase power that cannot actually be used on a spell. So we're going to discard that one, deal an additional damage, and then 2 money will get us a charge down here. Looking pretty good. Nemesis. Forgot to drop the 3 back on there. So we're down to 2. Here we go. So, Unleash. We lose 1 here. Any player suffers 1 damage and discards 2 gems. Oddly enough, it is going to be Aeon who does that. Even though Zolifer is always the one who has the most gems out there. Alright. Let's flip. Nemesis. Oh. Undo that flip. Ravenous Leviathan. Then we flip Nemesis. We lose that. Gravehold suffers 2. Down to 24. And this guy evolves. So we're getting down there in terms of we're going to have to kill him fast. Because one more evolve, we get something else in play. But I really don't want to do that. We just lost another link. So we're down to 5 links. And, well, reset this. We know it's Zolifer. Drop those 2 into play. And we have 5 purchase power. Or I could have 6 purchase power, but I think I just want... I think I do want 6 purchase power. Why? Because I can get the Conductive Grit, spending 2 from here and 1 from here, and still have 3 left over to get the Brain Knife. Because I bought a gem, that can go on top. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we get into the swing of things here. Aeon. This is why I kept it. 1, 2, 3, 4 damage. Still need to do 3 more. She has 2 purchase power. We will use the purchase power. Nemesis. No, that's less than ideal. Gravehold suffers 2 damage. And this be 32. The Leviathan has been feeding from the breach, becoming smarter and quicker, growing in size and hunger. Its body is sleeker now, allowing it to cut through the skies and slither rapidly towards its prey. So, we banish that. Okay, that's actually almost... I mean, it's 2 damage and a card discard, but that's less than I thought it might be. I'm going to put 32 back in there. I thought it could potentially be way worse than that. I mean, of course, 2 damage to Gravehold down to 20. And somebody discards a card from hand. Discard that crystal. But now we get to go a few times in a row. Aeon, 1. Takes the monster up to 5. Need to do 4 more damage. Drop in 2 more spells. And I have 2 to get yet another charge. We're both prepped and ready to go with charges. So, let's see. It's going to be Zolifer. Correct. So, I mean, I just need to do 4 damage. Might as well use both of them on the Skybound Leviathan. Flip over and see what I have. Brain Knife. Gain a charge, which I actually won't put on there because I'm going to spend all of them at once right now. Zolifer will gain 3 life, taking him back up to full, and Gravehold gains 2. And then an ally focuses their closed breach with the lowest focus cost. They only have 1, so that means working up there. We have 5 purchased, but 2 of them cannot be used for anything, so I'm just going to use, or for spells, so I'm just going to create another pathway again, going to the Incinerating Fist. Think about what order I want to put stuff in. And Zolifer again. Have 1 left over and 4 purchased, but that allows me to get an Incinerating Fist, which is kind of what my goal was. And I'm not going to keep that crystal. Alright, let's see what we have going forward here. Nemesis, so we lose 1 there. Immediately read E60. The kinetic construct appears, a glowing configuration of prisms and shapes, crackling with a cascade of energy. Arcs of electricity spout from the beast, shocking Brahma and pinning her to the ground. Defeat the construct to rescue Brahma. Place this card next to the kinetic construct. When it is, we read the back of the card. And my guess is this is going to read something like, oh, weird. So 2 damage to Gravehold and place a bridge token into play. Then discard a different bridge token from play. I still don't want to keep that around too long, so we're going to hit it for 3. I have Brain Knife again, getting a charge, focusing, and have 5 purchase. Drop in another one. Think. No, I'm not going to actually. Just gonna. I could get 2 charges. I'm gonna put that in because I'm 1 away from unleashing there. So we're gonna lose 1, then have stuff adjusted. Aeon though goes first, 4 damage, taking out the kinetic construct. The life construct crumbles. Brahma is free to redirect the stores of energy she was using to defend herself. Okay, so the player who discarded Kinetic Construct gains a card that gains a pulse token from the supply. And they do not take damage. Now, doesn't matter too much because of the fact that they're all connected, but it allows me to buy this 5-cost card to drop it into Aeon's deck. Which is another good way to get these tokens. And I still have 2 damage left to do. Down to 60. Quarter of the way there. Let's throw out our spells. And then 3 purchase power. I'm going to discard 1 actually to deal damage. 2 purchase power. The reason I'm doing that is I'm going to gain my final charge and a pulse. I'm going to use all 4 of those pulse to place in another connector. There. So we're actually doing good on connections. We have quite a number of them. I want to make sure that I'm getting just says discard a bridge token from play. So we can discard any one we want. We can discard that one. Discard a prep spell that costs 5 or more, 3 power on it. Any player suffers damage equal to the number of bridge tokens in play, then unleash twice. Okay, we need to get an arcane salvo up quick to get rid of that. We do have a few turns, thankfully. Six purchase. We will grab an arcane salvo. I know it's probably too late for Zolifer, but I hope it's not for Aeon. We're going to keep this one out, dealing 2 damage. Yeesh. Damage there. Not spending these again. I have 3 purchase. Cannot get that last breach flare. So conductive grit it is. Because I cannot open that. Zolifer, 4 damage. Might be getting rid of that focus, the player's 3rd breach one. It's not as good as it used to be. Gain a charge. Focused already. I have 4 purchase here, but only 1 can actually be spent on a spell, which means I'm just going to do 2 more of these just in case we can't get rid of this power card or in time. That would then allow us to, Zolifer has the health right now to be able to deal with that and then get back some health, because there's 1, 2, 3, 7 damage. He can get back up to 6. Of course, we hope that doesn't have to happen. 1 damage. And hopefully this hand, it has the Arcane Salvo. Perfect. Any ally gains a charge. Any ally gains 2 pulse. We're going to discard this prep spell to take care of this. I do not want to have to do that. But before I do that, actually, I'm going to have cast it for +1 damage. There is no minion to take 3 damage, but still, that's 5 damage, taking us down to 46, almost halfway there. And 2 purchase power. Just going to get one of these back. It's not enough to buy anything else, so might as well keep going. Let's keep going on this damage. And I feel decent now. I did not want that card. I'm going to discard this to get 4 purchase, 2 to focus, 2 to open. Drop that into play. Perfect. I now feel much better spending 4 of those pulse tokens, creating another link. Actually gonna do it here, I think. Or here. I'm actually going to do it here. I can't buy that last breach one anyway, so it doesn't matter if that breach flare is connected. Basically, we have memories of all these things in our store, basically, that Brahma has to keep alive, is what's going on. At least that's how I'm taking it. Zolifer, hey buddy, 6 damage. Down to half health. Gain a charge. I will not spend at this time. And I have 5 purchase. Arcane Salvo. Let's get a bunch of these. Let's get heavy hitting spells for you, Zolifer. You have the money. You're going to be able to cycle your stuff well there. So Aeon, 2 more damage, 38. have some not amazing spells. I'm going to drop that, deal another damage. I get 2 pulse and 4, so that actually flips open. I'll have placed that there. Because now, I can start doing that +1 damage, which is nice. This is going to be a nemesis, because we have all of our cards out here. Gravehold suffers 4, down to 18, and Unleash until that is down to 1. That is down to 1. Well, we know what's coming up next. We lose that. We're going to lose our Link here, and that one can go. So let's see. Then we flip to discard Evolve. Tempting Offer. Unleash twice. The player with the lowest life suffers 3 damage. That sucks. I might evolve that. I'm assuming it's going to be like the other one I evolved, where I have to put somebody's name on it, which makes it suck more for them. Well, let's reshuffle. See what we have here. Nemesis. Yay. I forgot to put 2 on there. To discard 2 bridge tokens. 2 power on that. We have a lot of powers in play. Zolifer. Let's see what we got here. Because let's do this one. We're discarding 2 of these. We get E61. Theirs full of energy, both from your attacks and the power Brahma is using to keep Deathmind at bay. She is able to direct that much energy into one large burst, giving you an immediate advantage. So, I get a card that costs up to 5. Arcane Salvo, last one available. Let me verify what it says here. That's it. Cool. And you know what? Zolifer is doing this one as well. I still haven't even taken his turn. We're evolving Tempting Offer, which has us reading card E44. I don't think that one was supposed to be in there. Because we should have E45 available to us as well. Well, that's in the correct banish pile at this point in time. Let me look at the... Let me look at my box here. Stuff. Don't see E45 in there. I was just looking for that. So I assume that I just stuck that one in the wrong pile. Not much I can do about that. At this point in time, we're just going to leave as is. Now Zolifer will actually do some stuff. Boom. Boom. Discard that. Gain that. So we are at 6 purchase power. Infernal Mirror. Yeah, that looks good. Man, those relics are good early, but less good later on. Zolifer again. Hey, I'll take 6 damage. 31. Like the sprain knife, great. I gain a charge. I don't want to spend my charges yet. I have 3 purchase power. I guess I'm getting another conductive grit. So, calling that all good. Aeon. 3 damage. Down to 28. I'm keeping that supporting shot in play because it's too useful against the bad guys, and, well, spend that to deal an additional damage. Like, I feel like I'm going to get a minion very soon here. So I might as well be ready for a minion with a shot that deals 2 damage. It's better than dealing 1 damage with like a spark or something like that. It gives me a little bit more room to play with. Nemesis, so we lose 1 there. Caustic Larva. Unleash and Evolve. 10 damage. So right here we have 5, 6, 7, 8 damage already to deal to it. Aeon. Hey, I mean, we're going to deal it. We're going to do the 8 damage to it. Gets it close. Discard that for 9th damage. Drop that into play. Ally gains a charge, can't. Gains 2 pulse tokens. You may lose 2 pulse tokens to cast any player's prep spell. The spell deals an additional damage. I'm not going to do that. And 2, I'm just going to grab another token here. I'm hoping that I get a go before the Nemesis. That'd be nice. I just shuffled the wrong deck. That was stupid. Well, I went from giving myself an advantage one time to completely shuffling up what Aeon has coming up, so might have made it harder on myself. Of course, she gets to go next. 2 damage, most definitely to Death Mind, taking him down to 25, or her down to 25. I'll discard 1 to deal damage, taking out our friend over here. I just have a spark to put in play. And 5 purchase power. I'm going to use that to gain 2 more of these, plus 2 more pulses, which will then allow me to connect something back up here. I literally have 2 piles that it's not that important for me to keep them connected. Which is kind of interesting. Like, the more I shop, the more, or the less it matters. So, 2 damage. For 4. Incinerating Fist. Accidentally discarded 2 there since I did not want to keep the crumbling compound or the crumbling crystal in my hand. Let's see who we have next. Nemesis. So we're losing that. Ugh. Okay, that sucks. Fortunately, we lose a bridge first. So there's only 5 bridges in play, which means only 5 shield on this guy. Aeon. Well, I'm gonna start pinging away here. I don't love it. Discard 1 to deal another damage. I'm gonna do that to fill in her last one. Clear that out. Cast without discarding it. Cast that for 1. So actually 2. And then deal another damage from the deal 3 damage to a minion. It's not efficient, but that was a way to take care of 4 of those shields on a single turn. Let's see. Nemesis, lose that. Player with the lowest life suffers 2 damage. It's not bad. Then we flip here. Spend 7. Unleash twice. Gravefold suffers 4 damage. If Gravefold has more than 13 health left, it evolves. Alright, Zolfer. Do your thing, man. I don't think we actually have enough to do it here. I can't kill him. That's real annoying. I can't kill him, so I'm just going to do the 5 damage straight to the big guy. Down to 18. Gain salvo and a spark. Discard all of these, so Aeon can gain back 3 health plus 2 health to Gravehold, taking it back up to 20. And I gain a charge. And I have 5 purchase power. Kind of interesting. But not enough for what I need to do, so I'm actually going to focus this guy. Leaving 1 of my, or 4 purchase power, so perfect actually. Almost forgot to put the 2 power tokens on there. By that I mean I did for a minute. Getting close to the end here, one way or another. Though I'm actually good health-wise, good over here. I still have 5 left. Zolfer goes. 1 from the spark, and 4. Getting that out of there. How much purchase do I have? Not enough. Ally gains a charge. Ally gains 2 pulse. Zolfer could lose 2 pulse. Instead, we're just going to gain another charge. We're going to keep his rags to riches in hand, just because that's a nice one for discarding to the crumbling compound. Zolfer. Hey, crumbling compounds. There's 4. And we will fire this one off for 4. Down to 14. That should be there. And I'm going to spend a pulse to gain 3, so I'm at 7, which is enough to take care of the tremor. And then I have 2 more spells to drop into play. It actually worked out perfectly having Zolifer go back to back there. It was the right call to hold on to that card, I think. Nemesis, we lose another. Attack. If there are 3 or more bridge tokens in play, discard a bridge token. There are. We'll discard that one. Already took one off of there. Aeon. 3 damage. Down to 11. Getting close. Getting real close here. Cane Salvo. Shot. Discard that one for another damage. Down to 10. We have enough out there. Ally gains a charge. 2 pulse, that's good. Zolifer. And can spend 2 pulse tokens. If you do, cast a spell dealing plus 1 damage for 5. Down to 5 health. All I need is Aeon to get another turn in, and that ends it. In all honesty, I don't think there's anything the Nameless can do at this point that would be able to stop this from happening. Well, especially when that happens, that is 5 damage right there. Let's come back up to the top here and read some more text and see what rewards we get. All right. Together, you and your fellow breach mages have gained the upper hand against Deathmind. You can see Brahma in your mind's eye, glowing with a soft yellow light, filling you with hope. As you advance on the creature, you feel a cloud leave your memories. Deathmind shrieks, panicked as your force overwhelms it, destroying its mind from the inside, leaving nothing but an empty shell. As Brahma closes the breach, you watch for interference from Zaxos. When the breach is closed, you collect the ore Malistar are needed for Malistar's new equipment. It is time to transport home the ore back to New Gravehold. Even more for Malistar to imbue his equipment with the ore's raw power. While Malistar works, the threat of Maelstrom's return becomes imminent. It has pushed its way out of the rubble and now moves towards your camp, ready to crush your newest settlement just as it did Gravehold. Hopefully, the abilities and powers you've gained during your time on the surface have prepared you for the final conflict. You know you have done everything you could to prepare for the last battle, but you are full of doubt. You can only hope you are ready. Open Insight 12. Where did I stick that? Insight 12. She has misplaced goggles. A nicer, bigger glowing lamp. So we get to add in 2 more things Once per turn, when you focus a breach, deal 2 damage. Once per turn, during your main phase, when you gain a spell, you may place that card into an ally's hand. Your maximum life is increased by 5. Once during your turn, during your main phase, you may discard a card in hand. If you do, silence a minion. When you destroy a card, don't do that often. Once per turn during your main phase, you may lose 2 pulse tokens. If you do, return a card from your discard pile to your hand. Well, we're going to keep pulse, apparently, because I really like that for Aeon to really be able to cycle some of her spells. Because it's just return a card to your hand, not anything else. Sparks deal an additional damage. Once per turn, when you cast a spell that deals 5 or more total damage, gain 2 charges. Zollifer is going to have gained an additional 5 health. Seems like the right one for him. Alright, so all we have left is to change out our we get a Fullamite Slab, which is just 1. Gain 2 pulse tokens. And you can discard pulse tokens to gain more money. Prophetic Lens, gain a charge, reveal the top card of your deck. You may destroy it if you don't gain a money. That's not bad. Sparking Siphon, when you gain this, gain 2 pulse, deal 2 damage. You may lose 1 pulse token. If you do, a player gains a life. Okay, that one for sure is going in. That replaces our Breach Flare, because that's a great one for Aeon to get now, because she's just going to be able to cycle. Like, that's going to be something Zollifer should not buy, which is kind of funny. Thunderous Oath, 8 cost spell. I don't think I'm going to put that one in. The Prophetic Lens is tempting because it doesn't focus anything, though I kind of like the 2 I have in there now, because it's gain a charge and gain 2 pulses, or gain a charge and focus a breach, the lowest cost one. And now, because we aren't focusing the breach 3 through spells, I think that's pretty good. The question is, do I want to get rid of the branching radite to put in the full might slab to be able to gain 2 pulse tokens instead of... I'm not going to put that in. I am only going with... I'm only going with 1. I like this setup I have here. I like the branching radite. I like the conductive grit. I have a few good ways to gain pulse tokens. And I really just like the Fire Chakram and Incinerating Fist because they do basic damage. They don't do anything special, but 4 cost for 3 damage, 2 cost for 2 damage, that's solid enough. I don't want the 8 cost in there because I think that's just going to be too much. So, with that, getting ready to sign off here. Thank you all for watching. I hope that it was fun to check this out. Let me know down in the comments below if you watch this after the fact. What do you think of it? Did this go as well as it felt like it did for me? This really felt like it went very smoothly. And man, I can ramp damage real fast. Sometimes I feel like it is nowhere near this fast in the actual game, But it's been fun. So if you want to know when I go live, click that notification bell, subscribe. We get to see whenever I put out a new video. I try and do 1, maybe 2 weekly. And then, so next Monday, 8:30, I'm doing a top 10 list. It's going to be top 10 games that I don't like, but you might. Basically, I'm going to give you reasons why some games that I really don't like, but I can see the good in them, or I can see why somebody might like them. I'll give you some reasons why I don't like them, but why you might like them. And then next Wednesday, obviously, more of this. We are down to Chapter 7. So that is going to be a blast. And, let's see, links below for nerdologist.com, the 10-Minute Marvel podcast, and, on my socials. So check those out. Check out the Patreon. And bottoms up.